and welcome to Saint Lucia Magazine, your weekly roundup of the nation's top stories in education, the economy, infrastructure, agriculture, and more. I am your host, Kishma Seri. In this edition, Saint Lucia calls for reparations at the United Nations General Assembly, and we mark the observance of World Tourism Day. In the top story, the Minister for External Affairs delivered a rousing address at the recent UN Assembly in New York. Claudia Monlouis reports.
St. Lucia's Minister for External Affairs, International Trade and Civil Aviation, Honorable Alva Baptiste, delivered a strong appeal for justice and equality during his 2025 contribution to the United Nations General Assembly. He renewed St. Lucia's steadfast call for reparations for the lasting consequences of the transatlantic slave trade, highlighting that the call is rooted in the acknowledgement of the inhumane treatment that African peoples have had to endure.
Madam President, I speak to you today as one who's conscious of how the transatlantic slave trade inflicted unimaginable suffering, dehumanization, and economic exploitation upon millions of Africans. This is why we are adamant about our just cause for reparations from Europe for the African slave trade, which are a moral imperative rooted in justice and acknowledgement of profound historical injustices that have long-lasting consequences.
St. Lucia has already taken concrete steps on the issue by establishing a special national committee on reparations and has aligned with the wider Caribbean to amplify the call for justice on regional and international platforms. At the September 27 Assembly, the minister also advocated for Taiwan to be accorded its rightful place within the United Nations. He emphasized that Taiwan's exclusion from the United Nations undermines the UN's principles of inclusivity and fairness.
Renewing our commitment to multilateralism also means that member states must take measures to reduce tensions and settle disputes in areas where, if not checked, conflict and war would prevail. It is for this reason that St. Lucia renews calls for the United Nations to allow Taiwan to meaningfully participate in the UN system. And I state categorically, Madam President, that UN Resolution 2758 of 1971 does not preclude Taiwan's inclusion and participation in the United Nations system.
The minister's appeal for fairness and equality also included a call for the removal of the U.S. sanctions imposed on Cuba so as to work toward a future where nations collaborate in the spirit of mutual respect and shared prosperity.
Madam President, St. Lucia has consistently called for an end to the U.S. embargo on Cuba and its removal from the list of state sponsors of terrorism because we embrace the view that engaging Cuba diplomatically rather than isolating it would unlock opportunities to foster regional cooperation, critical for long-term peace and development in the Caribbean, as well as to create an improved security architecture for the entire hemisphere.
St. Lucia's contribution at the UN General Assembly reinforces the Caribbean's unified position that justice is a global moral obligation.
World Tourism Day 2025 was celebrated at the Millet Bird Sanctuary, where participants engage in conservation activities to protect the island's unique biodiversity. Rajvara Lawrence reports.
The Ministry of Tourism, partnering with the Ministry of Agriculture and other community-based groups and organizations, engaged in a transformative initiative at the Millet Bird Sanctuary. Aimed at blending tourism with environmental sustainability, the project, aptly themed Tourism and Sustainable Transformation, is a direct response to the Ministry of Tourism's growing commitment to protecting local biodiversity while fostering community engagement in sustainable practices. Saint Lucia's Junior Minister of Tourism, Janik Polius, stressed the importance of protecting the environment.
Many different components, and each one plays a crucial role in keeping our nation alive. So this year's theme for World Tourism Day, tourism and sustainable transformation, is very timely. We need to protect our natural environment. And so the activity plan for this year's World Tourism Day was bird feeding and tree planting. As Junior Minister, I believe that initiatives like these need to be taken more regularly to protect our flora, to take care of our fauna, etc., etc.
Participants engaged in labeling native tree species and installing coconut bird feeders and bird houses. The labels serve a dual purpose. Not only do they educate visitors, but they also foster a greater appreciation for the rich, diverse flora that calls this sanctuary home. Deputy Permanent Secretary Anne Margaret Adams said the initiative commemorated St. Lucia's observance of World Tourism Day.
The significance of today's activity is for us to really reflect on the importance of tourism and the economy, our culture and our communities. And also it's really ensuring that tourism is growing in a sustainable manner. So the theme is tourism and sustainable transformation, and it's really a reminder of the importance of tourism to our economy and ensuring that tourism's growth is in a sustainable way. So we are here today to do a number of initiatives under this theme, and it includes planting, tree planting, installing coconut feeders, and we have been here for a number of groups, persons from the community. We have a number of agencies. We also have institutions and sectors within the tourism industry who are all here today with us to ensure that this activity is successful, because tourism cannot work alone, and we have to ensure that the communities are involved as well as our agency, and to show as well that we have a collective responsibility for preserving the environment.
The activity was held on September 27th and encouraged community participation in sustainable tourism practices through hands-on involvement. From the Government Information Service, Rojvaro Lawrence reporting.
St. Lucia has officially launched the first National Strategy for the Development of Statistics, or NSDS, a 5-year blueprint aimed at strengthening data governance to support evidence-based policy making. Virgil Leonti has the details.
At the official launch of St. Lucia's first National Strategy for Development of Statistics, the Deputy Director of Statistics, Richard Harris, spoke of the importance of the initiative. He noted that the strategy provides the country with an opportunity to maximize its resources, strengthen data systems, and use evidence-based insights to address pressing national challenges.
The National Strategy for the Development of Statistics, the NSDS, grants us the opportunity to consolidate and leverage our prevailing resources. Not just our data resources, but all our resources, human, AI, and otherwise. Create that big data that will allow us to identify and observe historically hidden trends and associations in our administrative and survey data sets. Fill in the annoying data gaps. Locate and integrate the missing pieces of the data puzzle, and gather evidence that in a very practical way can be used to resolve most of our collective challenges in a fundamental way.
Director of Statistics Sean Mathre said the strategy is a national commitment toward building a stronger and more reliable statistical foundation for development.
Through the NSDS, our NSS, the National Statistical System, will be transformed into one that is resilient, innovative, and inclusive. To achieve this, we will strengthen data governance, expand data partnerships, promote data literacy, and innovate continuously by embracing new technologies and methods to ensure that our statistical system remains agile and forward-looking. One of the most practical and necessary outcomes of a well-functioning and relevant national statistical system is improved access to administrative data. This advancement has the potential to significantly reduce or even eliminate reliance on surveys.
He added that the successful implementation of the NSDS will not only enhance efficiency, but also foster cross-sector collaboration.
If successfully implemented, the NSDS will promote coordination across government ministries, private sector entities, and development partners. It will help to eliminate duplication, improve efficiency, and ensure optimal use of limited resources. Ultimately, this will result in a modernized, well-functioning, and relevant national statistical system.
The NSDS was conceptualized in 2019 with support from Paris 21 and the World Bank. The collaborative statistical strategy is St. Lucia's first. I am Virgil Leonti.
Please stay with us.
We can all make a difference. Make the change. End the gun violence now.
A message from the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment.
From Castries to Viewfort, Saint Lucia FM. Your stories, your rhythm, your radio, your voice. Saint Lucia FM.
97.3 Saint Lucia FM.
The seventh round of St. Lucia's Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey, designed to capture key information on health, education, and living conditions, is now underway.
The seventh round of the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey Mix 7 is now fully underway across St. Lucia, reaching households from Mico to Ancillary, Bocage, and beyond. Designed to capture critical data on the well-being of men, women, and children, the survey is one of the most comprehensive tools available to inform national policy and track progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. The mix was developed by UNICEF to provide governments with timely, reliable data to shape social policies. The household-based surveys collect indicators on children, women, and men's health, nutrition, education, protection, and broader living conditions, ensuring that no one is left behind. For many families, the survey feels like a chance to finally be heard.
It's encouraging to see the government asking us about real issues that affects our families. I feel like our voices matter in shaping the discussion of our kids' future.
Unlike previous rounds, Mix 7 introduces a flexible modular questionnaire architecture that allows countries to adopt surveys to their specific needs. It also broadens its scope, capturing data on emerging issues such as climate change, migrant and refugee children, and newly adopted SDG indicators. Enumerators say the new design is making a difference on the ground.
My team have been doing very well in terms of administering the questionnaire. The measurer also in terms of weighing the baby and measuring the children, she's doing a good job. So generally, it's a good team and they're doing very well.
St. Lucia's participation in Mix 7 began after regional workshops in March 2023, where national statistics officers were trained to implement the new system. Enumerators are now visiting homes across the island, engaging families in structured interviews that will directly influence policy decisions. UNICEF, which funds the initiative, has emphasized the broader significance of the survey. As St. Lucia moves forward with Mix 7, the data gathered will provide a critical baseline for progress, helping the island confront pressing social challenges while building stronger, more inclusive communities.
St. Lucia's Ministry of Health is offering free breast cancer screenings. Health officials are urging women to visit their local wellness centers and to take advantage of this life-saving service.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of cancer deaths among women in St. Lucia. In response, the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs has introduced 3D mammograms and follow-up care under universal health coverage, a move they call a major step forward.
Universal health coverage is really working towards or ensuring that everyone receives the health care they need when and where they need it without going through financial hardship or ruin.
Under universal health coverage, several services are already being offered free of charge, from maternity care and pap smears to men's health clinics and even snakebite management. But today, the spotlight is firmly on breast cancer screening.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of cancer in women, and it's the primary contributor to premature deaths in women as well. And this is why the Ministry of Health felt it was necessary under universal health coverage to offer that type of screening for the women.
The package covers 3D mammograms, follow-up ultrasounds, biopsies, and laboratory testing at no cost to the patient. 3D mammogram services are available at Millennium Heights Medical Complex and St. Jude Hospital. To access the service, women must first call their nearest wellness center to know what days the cancer screening clinic is being held in their community, bring a valid ID, and attend the cancer screening clinic.
So we offer the 3D mammogram screening, and what happens is that if there's need for follow-up ultrasound, you can get the follow-up ultrasound as well. If you have a lump and the doctor realizes that you need to do a biopsy, you can get the biopsy done as well under the universal health coverage, and also the processing of the sample to get to know whether you have cancer or not.
The free mammogram service began in July 2025, and with Breast Cancer Awareness Month now here, health officials are urging women across the island to take advantage of this opportunity.
We started this service at the ending of June into early July. We have patients coming both at St. Jude's Hospital and Millennium Heights Medical Complex. What we anticipate is that now that we're having Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, we really want more women to take advantage of the screening services. Yeah, so to come to the nearest wellness center to get to know about the service and to be examined. We also encourage women to do self-breast examination. And then when they realize there's an issue, come, and then the nurse or the doctor will do the clinical breast examination and determine on what they get. Determining exactly after the examination, they will determine, whether you really need a mammogram, etc.
Free 3D mammograms, free follow-up care, no woman left behind. Dr. Eugene stressed that universal health coverage is more than a policy. It is protection, it is peace of mind, and it is saving lives across St. Lucia.
Coming up next, a workshop on creating sustainable, healthy school food environments.
Hello, OECS. Yo, OECS, this is your ocean. If I am to protect your future, we have to work together. It's the time to work together. If I am to help protect your future. Once I used to be so pure and clean, and those hills were so fresh and green. But now you see me as your dumping ground. Current situations have me choking on your pollution. Think hard about it. You will agree that really there is no you without me. Make the zero waste splash be responsible. Reduce your waste, recycle where possible. It's down to you, so make the commitment. Recycle for blue oceans and our betterment. Recycle OECS. Green actions, blue oceans. For blue oceans and our betterment.
Welcome back. Local, regional, and international stakeholders recently convened to discuss an initiative that aims to strengthen school nutrition policies. Fernell Neptune reports.
The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs, in collaboration with EU-CAN and the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, recently hosted a 2-day nutrition workshop at the Harbour Club Hotel in Rodney. This workshop was held under the theme, Creating Sustainable, Healthy School Food Environments. The workshop brought together local, regional, and international multi-sectoral stakeholders to discuss and develop solutions for implementing a healthier school environment in St. Lucia. In addition, stakeholders got an opportunity to identify some of the challenges affecting the implementation of healthy school food policies. Some of the initiatives which have not reached full implementation and require collaboration and discussion includes the development of national guidelines for school meals, bans on sugar-sweetened beverages, and the drafting of key policies related to school nutrition and feeding. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Jenny Daniel, encouraged stakeholders to participate fully and to put the knowledge into action to advance policies that will transform schools into a healthier environment.
By fostering a nutritious school environment, we are not only preventing the onset of non-communicable diseases, but also laying the foundation for a healthier, more resilient, and more productive society. The Ministry of Health, Wellness, and Elderly Affairs is firmly committed to ensuring that the meals served within our schools support both the immediate and long-term well-being of our children. Proper nutrition is not a luxury. It is a fundamental pillar of health. Children who are well-nourished with balanced, wholesome meals grow stronger, think more clearly, perform better academically, and are more likely to realize their full potential as adults.
Team Leader for Economic Resilience and Trade Partnership EU Delegation to Barbados, Chiara Tardivo, says it is her hope that stakeholders can work together and come up with concrete solutions which can turn challenges into success stories.
Today I'm pleased to reaffirm the European Union commitment to bolstering food security in the Caribbean. This initiative, EU Can Nourish Our Future, is a testament to our shared values and the understanding that food security and nutrition are fundamental to sustainable development and the well-being of future generations. So I'm happy that in collaboration with you, our local and regional partners, our joint efforts are indeed building on existing ongoing initiatives such as the national guidelines and regulations on sugar-sweetened beverages.
Curriculum Specialist for Health and Family Life Education in the Ministry of Education, Sustainable Development, Innovation, Science, Technology and Vocational Training, Valerie Fletcher, applauded this platform and also reiterated the Ministry of Education's commitment to ensure children have equitable access to safe, nutritious, and locally produced meals.
The Ministry of Education embraced the concept that healthy bodies nurture bright minds. This is why our collaboration with the Ministry of Health and other stakeholders in improving school meals, promoting healthier choices, and discouraging the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages is so vital. We recognize the urgency of addressing childhood obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and other non-communicable diseases that are increasingly prevalent in our region. Schools must become not just centers for academic instruction, but also environments that model and reinforce healthy lifestyles.
PAHO Country Program Specialist Fiona Anthony pledged the commitment of her organization to continue providing support which will further advance healthy school food policies to protect the health and well-being of children in Saint Lucia.
The Pan American Health Organization proposes a holistic vision of school food and nutrition based on food security, nutrition, and health. The goal is to build capacities and improve countries' ability to adopt public health policies that guarantee healthy environments, meaning environments that enable healthy habits and promote physical activity in schools in the region of the Americas. The approach focuses on creating conditions where the healthiest choices are the easiest choices for everyone.
The two-day workshop engaged key stakeholders and implementers such as the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, UNICEF, school principals, public health professionals, and nutrition officers, to name a few. Reporting from the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs, I am Fernal Neptune.
October 2nd marked World No Alcohol Day, a global initiative encouraging reflection on the negative effects of alcohol.
World No Alcohol Day, which is observed on October 2nd annually, offers an opportunity to reflect on the impact alcohol has had in shaping our health, how we celebrate, socialize, and navigate the challenges and the stresses that life presents. This year's theme, Enjoy More, appeals to us to rediscover the vast world of joy, connections, vibrant experiences, and freedom that alcohol-free life can offer. This observation is not a platform to judge or shame anyone. Rather, it allows us to pause and to reflect on our choices, our quality of life, and the things we value and protect, including our health, our families, and our future. Alcohol abuse is a leading risk factor for chronic diseases. In Saint Lucia, the health of our nation is challenged largely by these conditions, many of which are shaped by what we eat, how we move, and yes, what we drink. It also contributes to accidents, injuries, improper decisions, and acts of violence. Beyond the physical toll, alcohol abuse has a devastating impact on mental health, relationships, and the overall fabric of our communities. For too long, the narrative around alcohol has been one of social necessity. We have seen and learned that a drink is required to celebrate, to relax, to connect, and to have fun. But it is possible to find joy daily and have a great time during special occasions without the use of alcohol. For those of you who may be struggling with alcohol, please know that you are not left alone to cope. Help is available. Abusing alcohol is not a sign of weakness. It's a health issue, and just like any other health issue, it can be treated. We have a dedicated network of support systems ready to assist you on your journey to recovery. You can visit the nearest wellness center in your community or a doctor. Turning Point Drug and Alcohol Rehabilitation Center offers professional and compassionate care. There are trained individuals within the departments of the Ministry of Health who are available to provide guidance and support. Support groups can connect you to others who understand what you're going through, such as local Alcoholic Anonymous groups. Taking the first step is often the hardest part, but it's also the most courageous. Please reach out. Remember, every day is a chance to start fresh, to make a choice that supports your health and happiness.
And with that, we wrap up this edition of Saint Lucia Magazine. A heartfelt thank you to everyone who contributed to this production. The National Television Network, the GIS team, and the communication officers across various government ministries. Thank you for watching on NTN Channel 122 and for following on the official social media platforms of the Government of Saint Lucia. I am Kishma Serie. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged as we continue tracking Saint Lucia's progress.